You want to know a secret? A real secret? People think these objects, these wonderfully, deliciously cursed objects, are all about ghosts and demons. They're wrong. The real story, the truly precious story, is so much stranger. I've collected them for you. 6 tales of ruin and dread. 6 artifacts that whisper of something dark. But the question isn't just, is the curse real? Oh no, the question is, what's the real trick? Our first treasure? The Hope Diamond. Look at it. A flawless 45-carat abyss of blue. They say it was plucked from the eye of a goddess, and that its anger follows the diamond forever. A precious little rumor, isn't it? Its owners? A guest list from hell. Marie Antoinette lost her head. An heiress named Evelyn McLean, who flaunted it at parties, saw her family crumble into tragedy. A beautiful story of revenge served on a velvet pillow. But here's the secret inside the secret. The diamond has had dozens of owners who lived long, boring, happy lives. We just don't talk about them. Why? Because a clever jeweler in the 20th century realized that cursed sells better than pretty. He polished the stone, and he polished the legend. The most precious part of the story isn't the curse. It's the marketing genius behind it. The Iceman's curse? In 1991, hikers in the Alps found a man, perfectly preserved in ice for over 5,000 years. They called him Ötzi, a gift from the past. But they say he brought a gift of his own, a frozen curse. Listen to this beautiful, morbid drumbeat. The forensic expert who bagged the body died in a car crash. The mountaineer who led the team vanished in an avalanche. The hiker who found him plummeted to his death near the very same spot. 7 deaths, all linked to the man in the ice. It's tempting, isn't it? To believe in Ötzi's cold revenge. But the truly precious truth is wonderfully boring. Hundreds of people worked on the Ötzi project. The fact that 7 of them died over 30 years from completely unrelated causes is just life. Our brains crave patterns so much, we'll draw lines between a car crash and a mummy just to make the story better. The curse is a beautiful illusion. The Crying Boy paintings. Now this one is a masterpiece of mass panic. In the 1980s, all across England, houses would burn to the ground, and in the ashes, firefighters would find one thing, sitting there, unscorched, a cheap print of a sad, crying boy. The nation panicked. "The painting is cursed," they screamed. "The boy's tears are putting out the fire around him." People sent their copies to newspapers for a massive bonfire, hoping to break the spell. The precious truth? The prints were mass-produced on heavily compressed particle board, which happens to be incredibly flame-resistant. That's it. No ghost, no magical tears, just fire-retardant home decor. I almost love the real explanation more. The real monster wasn't a spirit, but our own hilarious, wonderful gullibility. The Annabelle doll. Ah, Annabelle, the star of the show. You've seen her in the movies, a porcelain nightmare. But the real doll is so much more devious. She's a simple Raggedy Ann doll, deceptively cuddly. Her owners, 2 nursing students in the 70s, claimed she would move on her own, leaving little notes on parchment paper. A psychic told them the doll was inhabited by the lonely spirit of a little girl. So they adopted her. They gave the ghost permission. Big mistake. According to the legendary investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, it was no little girl. It was a demon. Using the doll as a puppet to get close to the students' souls, they locked it away in a glass box where it remains, a demon in timeout. A precious, terrifying tale. But the secret? The real ghost wasn't in the doll. It was in their heads. Psychologists call it the power of suggestion. Once the psychic planted the idea of a ghost, their brains did the rest, turning every creak, every shadow, every misplaced object into proof. The doll wasn't haunted, their apartment was just drafty, but a demon is a much better story, isn't it? The Dybbuk Box, the internet's first cursed celebrity. This little wine cabinet appeared on eBay in 2003 with a story that was pure, uncut nightmare fuel. The seller claimed it belonged to a Holocaust survivor who had managed to trap a Dybbuk, a nasty, malicious spirit from Jewish folklore, inside of it. Every person who owned it reported the same things: choking sensations, nightmares of an ancient hag, overwhelming sadness. It became a phenomenon. And here's the most precious secret of all, the part I hug to myself at night. In 2021, the original seller, a fiction writer named Kevin Mannis, came clean. He admitted he made the whole thing up. The story, the inscriptions, all of it. He just wanted to sell an old wine box. The Dybbuk Box isn't haunted by a demon. It's haunted by a brilliant, beautiful lie. A work of art. My favorite, the masterpiece of my collection. Robert the doll. Before Chucky, there was Robert, a life-sized sailor doll with dead glass eyes and a smirk that knows too much. In the early 1900s, he was given to a boy named Gene Otto. The story goes that a vengeful servant, a practitioner of voodoo, cursed the doll before giving it to the child. Soon the house was filled with a new phrase. Whenever a vase broke or furniture was overturned, little Gene would say the same four chilling words: Robert did it. Neighbors saw him moving from window to window. Visitors heard his giggling from the attic. And today, in his museum, they say he'll curse you if you take his picture without asking nicely. So what's the real story? The precious human truth? Gene Otto was a strange, eccentric kid who grew into a strange, eccentric man. And he likely spent his entire life blaming his own mischief on his Sinian, straw-filled best friend. The legend grew from there, a story told so many times it became real. When you stand before Robert, you're not feeling a voodoo curse. You're feeling the weight of 100 years of storytelling. You're feeling the ghost of a lonely little boy. And that is a magic all its own. So you see, the magic isn't in the objects, it's in us, in our delicious, desperate need to believe. We craft these precious stories to explain the chaos, to give a face to our fears. And that is the most powerful curse of all. Which of these precious curses is your favorite? And what other haunted treasures should I add to my collection? Tell me everything in the comments below. If you, like me, enjoy digging up these weird, wonderful truths, make sure to subscribe and ring that little notification bell. It's our little secret. Until next time, stay curious.